Good morning, everybody. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, Marika, you might be a star on there on our recording. Anyway, I hope this finds you well whenever you decide to watch this. This is just a 45-minute program, really a morning get going sort of practice. So when we're compressing like that, I'm going to perhaps speed things up a little bit more than I might normally in class. So please be mindful of your limitations and where you're at on any given day. Please use any props that feel right for you and adjust and modify or completely leave out anything that isn't working for you this morning or whenever you watch the video. So we're going to actually start in standing since, you know, we're compressing our time into a shorter increment. So come to, well, the middle or the top of your mat, however it works for you. And we're just going to start with our feet hip to shoulder distance. Again, just what works comfortably for you. Just start by taking a couple of deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and gently sigh out through the mouth. Repeat it again. Let all your muscles relax and the weight of your body drop into your feet. Bring your hands into prayer at the heart center. We're going to interlace our fingers and use the inhale to push forward and up. And as we do, lift up onto the balls of our feet, so the heels lift. And as you exhale, spread the arms out, releasing the heels really slowly to the earth. Hands just come to sit beside the legs. And then we inhale, turning the palms out, reach up, come up off the heels, stiletto stance. Hands meet overhead, and as you exhale, bring the hands down through the center. This time we opposite interlace, so if it's your right finger that naturally comes in front, it's your left now. Inhale, push out, reach up, and come up onto the balls of your toes, wearing your stilettos, and exhale, slowly guiding the heels and the arms down. And inhale, reaching out and up. Heels lift, hands meet overhead, and exhale slowly, if you can, coming down through the center. This time we're simply going to inhale, reach the arms out and up without the interlace, heels lift. And as we exhale, the arms come wide, we drop the heels down and we begin to fold forward. Softening the knees as much as we need to, release the head completely. And then half lift. You can ride the hands up the legs, lift the chest, the chin, the sit bones roll towards the ceiling, and exhale, fold, softening the knees as much as you need. Roll up like a ragdoll, so bend the knees really deeply, press the feet into the floor, and roll up. Hands, arms, and head hanging until we're upright. Hands overhead, but keep the knees bent and, you know, drop your buttocks a little bit towards the floor so you're in like a chair pose. And then exhale through the center. Once again, hands coming back to the heart. We'll repeat that one more time. Inhale, reach the arms through the center and up. Lift your heels, draw the navel in towards the spine, reach up. And then exhale, widen the arms and slowly drop the heels. And bring your heart down towards your thighs. Release the head and the arms, the hands to the earth. And then half lift on the inhale, letting the hands right up the legs. And then exhale, folding again, softening the knees. Bend the knees really deeply, press the floor away from you, let the arms and head hang, and then shoulders over wrist, keep the knees bent, hands reach up. That's usually one big long inhale, but you can take more if you need it. And exhale through back to the center, back to the standing, legs straighten, hands to heart, and then just release the hands alongside the body. Take a breath, feel into the body, notice what's going on. And if you're not in the top of your mat, you might be at the top of your mat, that's okay. If you're at the top of your mat, you don't need to do anything but lift your arms and leg. But if you're in the middle of your mat, you can walk your way up. So we're going to inhale, lift the arms overhead, lift the right knee. And as we exhale, we're coming back down. And if you're in the middle of your mat, you can just begin to walk there. Inhale, lift the arms and the left leg. And exhale, slowly coming back down. And inhale, lift the right leg, arms up overhead. Hold for a moment, pausing. And then exhale, releasing. Inhale, lift the left leg. Arms meet overhead or hands meet overhead. Pause there for a moment. And exhale, slowly bringing that leg back down. Both arms, knees bend, and the inhale brings the arms up and over the head. You might like to watch now as the hands meet and then fold forward on the exhalation, bringing the heart to the thighs or the knees, releasing the head and hands completely. Half lift. See if you can leave your hands on the floor this time as you straighten the back of the legs a little bit. Lift your chest, lengthen through the spine, and then just holding there for a moment to open the back of the legs. Take one more inhale, and then use the exhalation to step that left leg all the way back. A nice long lunge. Hands are going to remain on the floor, or you could have a couple of blocks under your hands if you needed them. And we inhale and we coil up. So we lift that back heel. We lift our hips a little bit and we drop our head down, a little like tuck of the tail. And then we exhale and shoot back into the back heel. Lift the heart, the chest, the chin. Inhale, coil in, lifting back heel and hips, dropping the head and tail down. And exhale as you lift back up and push that heel away from you. Drop the hips back down to the earth. One more inhale. Coiling in a little slight lift, a pulsation. Release the head. And then exhale, shooting into the arrow of your lunge. You can drop the back knee down here if it was more comfortable for you. Otherwise, and you can have a block onto that hand, or you could make a fist. Otherwise, we're just placing the hand on the floor and inhale, reaching up with that right arm. And as you exhale, I want you to drop the arm back behind you, release it down to the floor, and then inhale, reach it forward and up in a big circle. And then exhale, dropping it back down. And you can find this little pulse with the hip as well. Inhale, the hip lifts a little bit as the arm reaches to its peak. And then exhale, drop the hip down, kick into the back heel as the hand comes to now the floor. So here we are. We're just going to make sure I can't really see anyone now. Screen is too small. We're going to turn, so both our feet turn into the middle of the mat. And then we're going to turn all the way around. So our lunge comes to the back of our mat. And I know that's not useful if you have your screen where you can't see it, but it doesn't matter because we're just repeating what we did. You don't need to see me here. We're going to inhale and do that little pulse, that half lift, the heel and the hips lift a little bit as the head and tail drop. And the exhalation as we shoot back into that back heel, drop the hips, lift the heart, lift your gaze. And then inhale, coil in, lift the heel, the hips, and drop the head. Exhale, push into the back heel, lift into the heart, drop the hips. And inhale, last one. Coiling in, pulsing up. Exhale, stretch out into that back heel. Hand onto your block or the floor, and your knee can come to the floor as well. Inhale, lift the left arm. And as you exhale, drop your hips a little lower as the hand comes back and then down to the earth. And then inhale, lift it forward and up in a full circle. The hips lift a little bit more. And as we exhale and begin to bring the arm down, we drop the hips a little more deeply. Kick into the back heel. Inhale, rise, lift, open. And exhale, drop back down into your lunge. Hand sits beside the foot again. And then we simply turn our feet back to the center of the mat. You can just take a moment there as you wriggle your hips from side to side. And maybe bend the knees a little from side to side. So you can just begin to warm up all the joints around there. And I'm getting to warm up, so I'm taking off my top. The old yoga strip is happening. So that's nice because it's a cool morning. So you're just a little rocking from side to side, a little swaying. You might like to get even the shoulders a little bit involved in that. And just begin to gently wake the body up. And then coming back to the center, do a little half lift. So really feel like we're rolling the sit bones up, lifting chest and chin. And then turn to the front of your mat once again. Now have your feet at hip distance here. So just check your alignment. We're going to press really firmly into that front leg. Coil into our center and lift up, inhaling the arms all the way overhead. And here as we exhale, we're going to grab hold, right hand on the left wrist and pull it over towards the right side. So really begin to feel the stretch in the left gate of the body. Take a couple of nice deep breaths there, and if it's a little uncomfortable, you can have this gentle little pulse that just dips you in and out of the deeper stretch so the body can just sort of find its way more gently. Take one more breath. You might like to really kick back into that back heel. Now bring that front knee forward and pull yourself to the right side. And then we're going to bring our hands maybe into prayer as we bring that left elbow to the right outer thigh or knee. Or if this is too much for you, you can just bring your forearm to the knee or the hand back down to the floor. You could also drop that back knee. Otherwise, we're in this, I'll show you, really into a fuller twist. The hands are in prayer. If that doesn't work for you, you can have your left hand in a fist and the right hand pressing into the fist. And we look back, if we can, beyond that top elbow. And then really try and drop that right hip down and kick into the left heel. Take a breath or two and see if you can just let a little sneaky smile come across your face. Take one more breath there, and as you inhale, lift up and out of there and drop the hands back to either side of your right foot. And then we're going to turn again to the side of our mat, so turning both feet out. And you might like this time to leave your hands at the right foot or the right end of the mat and bend the left knee and just stretch into it. Take a breath there. Then inhale back to the center, bring your hands to the left foot or the left side of your mat. And exhale, bend the right knee. Yum, 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 yum. Take a breath. And then all the way to the back of your mat, you're going to turn so you come back into your lunge with the left foot leading. Just check the alignment of your feet so the feet are in line with the hip. They're at hip distance. Get comfortable and begin to coil into your center so you can lift yourself out of it. Press the front foot into the floor and inhale, rise. Arms all the way overhead. Exhale, we're going to grab hold. The right hand grabs, the left hand grabs hold with the right wrist, and we pull it towards the left hand side. Some stability is required here. So if it's too much, you can try this little pulse that holds you, drops you in and out of the depth of this stretch. Can be a little harder with balance, so we really need to be in the belly center. Kick back into the back heel as you want to deepen and go into your best stretch now. Take the back heel back, the front knee forward, and pull yourself over to the left-hand side. And then we bring our hands into prayer and begin to drop that right elbow to the outer left thigh, or the hand can drop to the floor, or the forearm to the thigh, and the back knee can come to the floor if necessary. Otherwise, try and slip that arm down the leg. Twist yourself enough that your hands maybe can come to the heart center, just as if we're standing in Tadasana. And then you can look over and beyond that top elbow. Couple of breaths. Fantastic. On an inhale, really lift yourself back into the center and use the exhalation to drop the hands back to the earth. And then we turn again, dropping the feet, the back heel and the toes coming in line so they're at the length of the mat. Leave the hands to the left side and bend the right knee. And then inhale, swim over to the right side, straightening the legs. And as you exhale, bending into the left knee. And then inhale, coming into the center. Use an exhalation when you're ready, just to fold for a moment. And just allow the head to hang, the knees to soften, and your feet to roll out to the outer edge. So we want the ball of the big toes and the heels to be firmly planted. And then roll your feet out to the outer edge. Then from there, you can bend your knees and roll up. Take an inhale so the arms come up and over the head. And as we exhale, the arms release wide and now come back behind us into an interlace here. Now, for those of you who have trouble with this interlace, we can just let the hands sit on the base of the sacrum of the spine. And really draw the elbows in towards each other. If you have a little bit more to give, you can straighten the arms. And as you can see, as you straighten your arms, you're going to lift from your lower belly into your chest to really begin that pronunciation, lifting from the feet, the arches that we've just lifted from rolling to the outside, into the belly, into the heart as the hands begin to pull back, if it's available for you. And then use an exhalation to lead down with the heart. And just go wherever you can make it comfortably. You can soften the knees as much as you need to, and then simply release the head and arms towards the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. You could even, if you're in a playful mood and you feel super comfy, bend the right knee, turn yourself a little bit towards the right leg, and then bend into the left knee and come towards the left side. And you can sway a little from side to side, if that feels nice and secure for your body. Half lift on the inhale, dropping the hands to the buttocks, and then as you exhale, run the hands along the back of the legs as you come into the full fold. Bringing your left hand now to the floor, right under your heart. It could have a block if you have one at home, and you could have the hand under the block, but it's right in the center, right? Place your right hand on your sacrum, the flat bit at the base of your spine, where the hip joint, the pelvis meets the middle. And then press the hand into the floor and begin to rotate your top shoulder up. So it's really a spinal twist. So try and feel your sacrum staying as stable and flat as possible. So we're not dipping. If you had a glass of water on that, could you keep that glass of water without falling off? If you're super comfortable here, you could lift that right arm up. Take a couple of deep breaths and really work at pressing that left hand into the floor, of stacking your shoulders one on top of the other, of keeping the hips straight and reaching into your fingers. A lot going on here. Take one more breath there, and as you exhale, release the hand down. Rolling up with the knees bent on an inhale, take the arms all the way up and over your head. And on an exhale, stretching it out, maybe playfully this time, playing with the wrists, like just getting a little smoochy, just making sure the body is, you know, resonating with everything that's going on. We come back to the interlace, but again, we do the opposite interlace that feels natural for us. So if our right finger is in front, we're going to change it to the left. And it should feel a little bit awkward for you. Then you know you got it right. And then we're lifting from the arches of our feet, so pinning the ball of the big toe and the heels down, and then roll to the outer edges. And as you do, suck up into your lower belly into the heart, hands away from the buttocks if you're doing that variation, and then fold. Hinging at the hips, softening the knees as much as you need to as you release yourself down and allow the head to completely release and relax. The arms maybe are coming up and over as if the arms are going to reach the floor out in front of your head. Some yogis can actually do that. Can you believe that? I have never been even close. My shoulders are pretty, you know, loose. So just breathing a couple of breaths there. And if you enjoyed this little playful sway action or motion, you can also integrate that or just leave it and enjoy the stillness. One more breath. And then use the inhale to half lift, drop the hands to the buttocks, and the exhale to allow the hands to ride down the back of the legs as you release. Then the inhale as the right hand comes into the center directly under your heart. Left hand onto your sacrum. I should have mentioned this before. A little trick can be to keep the pelvis straight is to, now that we're twisting to the left hand side, is to bend the right knee ever so slightly. And as you bend the right knee ever so slightly, you can press the right hand into the floor, begin to rotate the spine, the chest, and just keeping the hips even by a little micro bend or a bend in that right knee. So see how you go. It's better to try and align yourself correctly than to throw yourself into something that isn't aligned. But if you feel aligned, you can lift the left hand. Keep pressing the right hand into the floor. Keep pressing maybe the right foot into the floor as you lift the right hip, or bend the right knee. Two options. And reach into the hand. Reach up as you reach down. And lengthen crown and tail away from each other. Feet into the earth, hips back into their sockets. One more breath. And then we slowly exhale and release down. A little wag of your tail. And then let's turn all the way around back to the front foot. It's, oh, now we're going to exhale, step back into downward facing dog. So take the right leg to join the left. And here we can just take a little moment to have a little play with our dog, little tail wagging, a little walking. I hope if you're fairly new to yoga, some of those instructions make sense to you, but the imagery is important, so I'm hoping you'll understand it. We're going to inhale and lift our heels and round our spine forward until we find our shoulders over our wrists. And then we bend the knees and push back. And then we straighten the legs and push ourselves, rounding ourselves forward until the shoulders come over the wrists. Bend the knees and push back. Straighten the legs, round ourselves forward, bend the knees and push back. So just a few more goes here. Rolling from dog to a plank variation. And then inhale, rolling, rounding forward. Drop the knees to the floor. And exhale, untuck your toes, drop your elbows to the earth and let the forehead follow. Or if your forehead cannot comfortably make the floor, you can stack your hands or stack your fists and place the forehead there. Take 3 deep breaths into the body. Maybe exhale through the mouth. Release any over-efforting, any tension or contraction that's still being held in the body. Begin to let effort go, come back just into the experience of the vibratory body. And then as you're ready, we use an inhale to come back up onto all 4 fours. Have your knees under your hips and your feet in line with your knees. Your wrists are directly under your shoulders. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, coil in, dropping the head and tail, rounding through the spine. Press the floor away from you, drop your head down, release it completely. Inhale to roll the sit bones up to lift the chest. Press the hands into the floor and towards your knees. And then exhale, suck the lower navel in, drop the head and tail, push the floor away from you. Press your sit bones towards your face. Inhale, roll up. Rolling sit bones, open chest, chin. Exhale, coil in. Drop the head and tail. And inhale, rolling up. And as you exhale, this time sitting back down onto your heels. Bringing your knees in so the inner thighs touch each other. And make yourself comfortable, but it's sitting between the cup of the, I want to say hands, but they're obviously feet, right? So the heels of your feet can be on the side of the hip bone. Take an inhale as you ride the energy, the breath up the center line from your tail to your crown. And as you exhale, jump the chin out slightly and draw it down towards the chest. But keep this lengthening up through the spine, the breath from collarbone to collarbone. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, begin to swing the chin from side to side, and then just find your way with the breath, breathing sort of naturally in and out as you swing the chin from side to side. Take an inhale and let that chin come out to the right and up. Exhale it down the left and back down. And simply swap the direction. Inhale up the left and across, down the right and back. And then we inhale and lift up. Lift the arms up, lift your buttocks up. So we're in a standing kneel. I call this standing kneel, I don't know if that's quite right. Tuck the right toes, and as you take an exhalation, drop your right hand to your right heel and reach across. Reach across. Press the left foot into the floor, the left knee into the floor, and reach the left arm across to the right side. Take one more breath there as you really, land that feeling. And then as you exhale, dip forward and down. So you're bringing your body in a circular action across the front and to the other side. So untuck the right toes, tuck the left toes, and let that right arm begin to come across the face and over to the left side. So you've got, your left hand's touching your left heels, and you press that right foot and knee into the floor. Begin to find that beautiful right stretch of the body, and then reach into the right fingers on an inhale, reaching across to the left. And then exhale, let's swivel across, coming forward and down, untucking the left toes, retucking the right. Right hand onto heel, left hand reaches up and over, and now just single breath. Exhale, coming forward and down, rounding your way to the other side, changing the tuck of the toes and lifting up. Right hand to the left side. Exhale, one more round. Swiveling across and forward, changing the tuck of the toes. Inhale, open that left gate of the body. Exhale, sweeping back across to the left side. Inhale, opening the right gate. And exhale, coming back to the center. Untuck both toes. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, begin to sit down, but then just swing the feet out to the right hand side at the same time. Widen your feet. So the left foot, the sole of the foot, is alongside the inner thigh of the right. And then the right foot is behind you, just sitting alongside your right buttocks. Give yourself as much space as you need there, right? Take an inhale to ground yourself down and to lengthen up through the center. And as you exhale, the right hand is going to come to the left knee. And we're going to turn to look over the left side of the body. Now that right hip might lift a little, and that is okay. But just try not to lift the whole thing over so you're actually twisting from your hip. We want to try and keep a sense of rootedness in that right sit bone, right hip, but it will lift a little. So just find the playoff. Breathe in. You might like to close your eyes. And as you work into this pose, I want you to try and soften everything. Try and let go of the effort and come into a non-doing of the posture. And in twisting, I find that actually letting go of effort helps us to deepen. Find your breath. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just simply turn the chin towards the front right shoulder. And you might even like to begin to bend that back elbow and take that left shoulder a little bit further behind, just to ensure you're not losing anything as you bring the chin forward. Double twist. One more breath in. And as you exhale, simply, carefully, gently come out. You can grab your right ankle and bring the foot. So we bring it forward and the soles of the feet meet in the middle. You might like a little rock from side to side to get super comfortable there and make sure that your buttocks is nice and evenly placed. And feel your sit bones rooting down into the earth. Take an inhale here. As you do, you're going to ride that inhalation up the center of the spine. Hands are grabbed onto the ankles, not the front of the feet, unless you're super comfortable with that and very open chested. We want to keep the breadth of the heart expanding open. So if you close in because it takes more to reach towards your toes, please grab hold of the ankles. And then open the heart, push it through the shoulders so you're really open-hearted. And as you exhale, take an inhale, and as you exhale, you begin to come forward. You can let those elbows gently press into the thighs or the legs in order to help the hips open in the way that they need to for this tremendous forward fold. Tuck your chin in just a little bit, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. 3 deep, conscious and relaxing breaths. And then inhaling to come up carefully. And as you exhale, you're going to take the left foot and take it behind you so we can come into the pose on the other side. So tucking that right sole foot into the inner thigh of the left leg, and the heel of the left leg sits behind the hip or the side, sorry, the side of the hip. Hands come onto either side. We take that exhalation to ride up through the center. And as we exhale, the left hand comes to the right knee and we turn to look over the right elbow. That left hip may lift a little and allow that to a degree. And then just find that nice alignment with the hips without it being too lifted. And that the twist is actually really starting from the belly button, from the waist up. Closing your eyes. Taking your awareness to the inner body and trying to use your exhalations to really allow a sense of non-doing, softness, relaxation, ease, surrender into the pose. One inhale, and the exhalation brings the chin across to the front left shoulder. You might need to bend that right elbow and begin to draw that right shoulder back a little bit, just in case you begin to lose it. Close the eyes again and just allow yourself to be fully engaged in the posture. So one more breath. And as we exhale, we simply release gently and slowly out of there. Bringing that foot back into the center, so left foot to the right, soles meet in the middle. And this time you might like to try and have your hands on the ball of the foot, so thinking of your feet as if they're like a book. And your thumbs are coming into the center of the book and you want to peel it open. And as you peel the book open, if you're anything like me, your eyes are really beginning to deteriorate and you need a closer look. Maybe you have long-sighted, you need to be further, but we're going to imagine the print is very small and we want to really dip down to read the soul. Taking yourself only as deeply as comfortable for your body, of this day. And then use some conscious breaths to support and open the areas of the body that are struggling with this. And then we inhale and come up, lifting with the heart leading. Draw your thighs into the center and straighten the legs out. Widen your feet as wide as your shoulders and give them a shake. If you need to put in anything warmer, hopefully you can just grab a blankie or something and place that on you. And then just simply begin to lay the body down. You might need a little extra something, but I'm going to suggest we're almost out of time. So if you want to do a little extra something, particularly those of you doing this on video, super easy to take a moment to just do what you need to do to finish off practice, and then have a 3 to 5 minute shavasana. We're going to do a 3-minute shavasana here together, and if you need longer, you can take longer. And if you want to, you're watching the video, you can just finish the video here and finish your practice on your own. Or if you want to join me in a 3-minute shavasana, then you can do that. So laying the body down on the floor, tucking the shoulder blades in towards each other, tucking the flesh of the buttocks down towards the heels, the hands lay out away from the body, palms facing up. Feet nice and wide. I find that this really helps to get this idea in our head that we are black. We're just dropping and stopping. Let the feet fall out to either side. Make any small adjustments that you need to so you are perfectly comfortable. Start by taking 2 to 3 deepened inhales and extended exhalations, making your exhales longer than the inhales, either out through the mouth or the nose. Melt the body to the earth. When you feel yourself begin to relax, simply allow the natural breath to take over. And to try and keep your mind engaged with the experience of the body in this very moment. Drop everything that you have. Drop everything that you know. And let yourself free fall into the subtle realms of your body. And then either staying there and finishing your shavasana in your own time. or taking a deep breath to initiate the comeback. Any little movement of the fingers, toes, ankle, wrists. And then roll onto your right side or any comfortable uninjured side. Taking a breath there.
And as you're ready, you can push up with the opposite hands. And we come to a seated posture. If you like, you bring your hands into prayer at the heart center and gently bow the head towards the heart. Taking a deep and conscious breath here. Just feeling the practice and its beautiful healing effects in your body, mind, and spirit. Namaste.